I want to talk for a minute about an experience I had the other day at a retreat, an all-day retreat led by Tara Brach, who has written a number of books on mindfulness practice and meditation and spirituality. And how a practice that we did in that retreat reminded me of an article written by Peter Gallwitzer about 1995 or so on the subject of implementation intentions. Let me start with Gallwitzer's work. Implementation intentions. The theory goes like this. We are automatic. Most of what we do all day long is automatic. Stimuli present themselves and we automatically respond to them without interrupting the connection between stimulus and response. Example, I go to a client's office, they lay out a whole plate full of Krispy Kreme donuts. The stimulus is the donuts. My response, eat 3-4 donuts. This is a long time ago. And the way I broke myself of this habit was, after reading Gallwitzer's article about this, under his advice, I practiced a different response to that stimulus. I would think about the stimulus, that is, donuts in a conference room presented by a client. That's the stimulus. And then I would think, what is an alternative response that is more consistent with my intended goal? Not to eat the donuts, but instead to respond in a healthy way. Well, the response I came up with to that stimulus that I practiced mentally was to reach into my briefcase and pull out a protein bar, a low-carb protein bar, and then, in addition to that, ask my host to take the donuts into the kitchen and share it with the staff, share the tray of donuts with the staff. And by practicing that stimulus-response connection, that alternative stimulus-response connection, I broke myself of the automatic behavior of responding to donuts by eating them. This is a big improvement. So the question here then is, can I do this with a different kind of stimulus and response reaction? And that is a stimulus of a predictable, painful interaction with another human being. And what might the alternative response be? There are people in my life, family members, friends, with whom I have repeated conversations that have historically sent me into reaction. Well before I can even give a moment's thought to what my response is, we are in a dynamic, an argument, or some sort of tiff that it's automatic for both of us. So how can I use Gallwitzer plus some techniques that we practiced in Tara's workshop? One of the techniques we practiced was to imagine in a painful situation that an admired spiritual guide, or not even spiritual guide, an admired teacher, knocks at the door right in the midst of your crisis. You break away from your crisis, you admit this person, whether it be Kuan Yin or the Buddha or Jesus or a grandmother or Gandhi, some person that you might think personal to you would handle this situation better. You invite that person in, invite them into your body. You step aside, they take your place in this painful situation, and then you watch as they continue with the dynamic with this other person. So it occurred to me this might be a useful thing to practice, to imagine the stimulus. Oh, this person's going to say this to me, and then practice the alternative result. What is it for this teacher of mine, this guide to kindness or guide to loving, steps into my place and inhabits my body and acts the rest of the conversation. So I did a closed-eye meditation in which I practiced this, and it occurs to me that this might be another part of my practice that I start to do maybe once or twice a week, just to gain that practice, because there are some conversations that I have not had for the last time. And this may be a way for me to break the cycle of reactivity for those conversations that I find particularly hard to break out of that reactive cycle from.